We're going to try something a little bit fun and different today. Basically what happens throughout the week is when I post a vlog that's 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. For that vlog, there's probably a good 20, 25, 30, 40, 50 minutes of footage to create that short little 5 to 10 minute vlog, right? And so if you think about that throughout the whole week, that's like, call it 20 plus minutes a day of stuff that's not actually being used, even though it might have actually been some pretty cool, some pretty good stuff, right? So what I'm gonna do for this vlog is I'm gonna test it. I'm gonna try to go through some of my old footage and pull out other interesting things that didn't make the full vlog, or maybe some things like maybe some extended things, maybe some additional things that would have been nice to put in, but I wasn't able to. So we're gonna give it a go. I might do this every weekend. I haven't fully decided, but today I'm gonna give it a try. So anyway, hope you enjoy. So when it comes to technology and machine translation, essentially, you know, where my stance is that if you are someone that's using it for like travel purposes, if you're using it for, you know, any kind of like you're ordering food in a restaurant and you have to be able to use it to be able to communicate, for those kinds of scenarios, or maybe you're checking into a hotel and they don't speak English or whatever your language is, etc., etc. I think for those kind of scenarios, I think that the machine translation world, in my experience, I think it's there. I've seen people use it. I have used it myself. I actually hung out with a Chinese person, two Chinese people, excuse me, for, oh, my phone is ringing. I'm gonna move somewhere else. I used it for like a whole, you know, 4 to 5 hour hangout with these two Chinese people. And it's essentially how we communicated, because their English was not very good and my Chinese was even worse. What I think is a more interesting conversation is where it's going to go in the next, call it, you know, X number of years, whether it be 20 years, 5 years, 50 years. Like, I think that's an interesting conversation, because I do think that it's going to get better, and the question becomes, to what extent is it going to get better? Many people who talk about languages, who talk about language learning, when you look at them, a lot of them say the same thing. They will say there is no best language learning method. A lot of them say this. And yet, when you actually start to dissect some of their content, what you notice is that they say in some situations that, oh, there is no best method. But in other situations, they're really saying like, this is how you should do it. This system is better than that system, blah, 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 blah. And I think there's a variety of reasons why this happens. I think in many cases, it depends on what moment you catch someone in. For example, you might ask someone a question like, oh, what do you think the best method is? And they start talking about X, Y, Z. It might have just been the way the question was framed. It might have been like the mentality you caught that individual in. I think some people, they have a tendency to, they have a business or financial vested interest to say that this system is better because maybe that is their system.
I think that one deserves thumbs up. For sure. Let's see. Alright. Good job.
You don't. Huh? You don't. No?
Maybe I'm wasted, or maybe just jaded, but I thought that we could make it. I guess I was mistaken.
Can I relate to the fact that it's hard for me to focus? Can I relate to the fact that it's hard to focus on like one language at a time? For me, not really. I have a lot of languages on my list, but I know that I've got lots of time. Like, I'm not in a rush to learn them. Like, I'm 24 or almost 25. I've crossed my fingers. I hopefully have another 70 years or 60 years or 80 years on this planet. Like, I'm not in a rush, like I'm very patient with it. So that's typically how I stay focused on one at a time. I know some people though, like they like to learn multiple languages. Like even me, actually here's a great example. I recently decided I was gonna start learning Arabic. And I don't know if I'm gonna jump into it fully, but I'm taking a lesson on a week from now, so who knows, right? So typically I'll just do whatever feels right in the moment. I just don't judge myself too much and if I'm changing my mind or not changing my mind or whatever, so. But more people do bikes, more people do transit. As a matter of fact, in China as a whole, Beijing for sure, and I think China as a whole, not everyone's allowed to have a car.
Oh, okay.
Like you're not allowed. It's like I forget exactly how the system works, but there's
Not
once
everyone is allowed to have a car.
yeah,
Fascinating.
it was once just, and even if you have a car, to be perfectly honest, it's actually sometimes faster just to take the train.
Yeah.
Because like so much traffic, and so like it's like people get around by transit, like transit as in like buses, train, whatever, subway, as well as like you know segways. People take segways to work and stuff because like you might walk, you might have a 30-minute walk, and you're like, well, I'm not gonna drive.
7 kilometers an hour, man. That's
Well,
pretty
and
good, right?
and that's just it. Hoverboards and a lot of like the those hoverboards or whatever,
those are
right?
crazy, yeah.
Right, or like segways, like stuff like that. It's nuts.
I think I'm not sure. I think I saw it in a video or a documentary, but this guy was talking about how a lot of like the bike culture in China.
The what?
The bike culture in China is very
Bike.
interesting because like people will be like, all right, I don't want to buy a good bike because it's gonna be like stolen, but I just need to buy like a piece of shit bike that works.
Yep.
But is it nice enough so it's like not stolen?
I
It's
have
so
to show you this
crazy.
picture.
Wow.
Funniest picture. And actually, you don't even need to buy a bike because get this, you can rent a bike. Rent as in like get a public bike with an app. Scan it, it unlocks the bike for you. Get
You
this.
have that kind of
It is,
technology in
but
China.
dude. But here's the crazy thing. It's less. It's like a penny an hour.
It's not cheap.
It's like something like 10 cents an hour.
Dude, I could scan the bike and then just have it for a week and forget and be like, whatever, I'll just pay for that. I mean, maybe
yeah,
not with the
theoretically.
financial disparity, but if I was making what I was making here, like,
Theoretically, yeah.
crazy.
Well, no, even with the financial disparity, like it's like so it's
So
not
cheap. It's so cheap.
even for a
everyone can
Chinese
afford
person. It's like the way it works is you scan the bike, it unlocks it for you,
okay.
right? You take the bike, and then that starts your clock on your app because you put money on your app. When you lock it up again, you scan it. I think you rescan it, and then it closes again, and then that's your bill.
That is
Oh,
so
shit.
amazing. That's so innovative.